What is up, everyone, and welcome to a star-spangled episode of The Tape Tomb, the show where we talk about some of the greatest horror movies in my VHS collection. This week we celebrate America, baby, as we talk about the most patriotic and only 4th of July horror movie that I know, and that's Uncle Sam by Larry Cohen and William Lustig. This relic of the 90s does exactly what you think it will do and put an Uncle Sam suit sporting killer on the loose, killing a bunch of people on the 4th of July. Like every slasher copycat that came around this time that wasn't the big dogs, this movie is just terrible. But unlike slasher copycats before it, this one uses Isaac Hayes and a telepathic wheelchair-bound blind kid who team up with the helplessly naive nephew of the killer to put him to rest. And that's more than enough to get a pass from me. But before we get into all that, let's blow this baby sky high and get into the guts. This movie was written and directed by the dynamic duo of disasters Larry Cohen and William Lustig. This group had worked previously on movies like Maniac, Maniac Cop 1, 2, and 3, and a couple other things. Lustig would continue to do documentaries about the horror genre, one including one about Dario Argento's opera. And Larry Cohen, well, he's a celebrity around here at the Tape Tomb. He's done a ton of our favorite movies like It's Alive, Q the Winged Serpent, and The Stuff. We even have an episode on The Stuff for a previous episode of the Tape Tomb. You can check it out in the link below or wherever I decide to put it. To star in this movie, we have William Smith, David Fralick, and Leslie Neal, and we get a ton of cameos from cool people that have been in dozens of other movies, but most importantly, we have the man playing one bad mother. Shut your mouth! Sergeant Crowley, played by none other than Mr. Isaac Hayes. The majority of you will know Mr. Hayes as the smooth and sultry voice of South Park's now removed cafeteria chef character, Chef. Hayes was the composer for the Shaft soundtrack, a standalone music artist, and a big cameo dropper in random movies during the 80s and 90s. But what's this movie about? Let's light the fuse and find out. Roll the film.
This movie starts out in the deserts of Kuwait as we roll on to a scene that looks like it's seen some action. These army guys are here to check out an accidental friendly fire situation that went wrong, leaving multiple dead bodies in its wake. This guy soon finds out the hard way that all these soldiers aren't dead, as Sergeant Sam Harper springs to life to snap this guy's neck right before he dies. Cut to our main setting of the story, this quaint little hometown getting ready for their big 4th of July celebration. All while this is going on, Sam Harper's body is being dropped off at his sister Sally's house to be prepared for his funeral service. Sally has a young boy named Jody who is fascinated with his Uncle Sam. All of his achievements and the service he provided for his country, this kid just downright looks up to him, so of course it's his blood dripping on a picture of his uncle that brings him back to life? Sure, whatever, I'm not gonna dig too deep on this one. So Uncle Sam Harper is back from the dead, and soon enough we do find out that he was a real bad dude. Multiple assaults on his sister and wife, a history of an array of abuses. This guy was a monster, and post-resurrection, he'll be no different. Sam gets his hands on this creep who's being a peeping Tom in his 4th of July costume and steals the outfit, making sure that no one will recognize him. This sets off a chain of fun 4th of July themed kills, and it's up to Jody, Isaac Hayes, and a blind kid who telepathically communicates with the killer to stop him. How will it all turn out? For some people, rather explosive in Uncle Sam.
This movie is one of a great string of Cohen flicks that have my favorite movie taglines ever, like Uncle Sam, I want you dead, or Maniac Cop, you have the right to remain silent forever. It's almost like we're following a pattern. Precisely. This is the kind of slasher movie that you have to walk into with an open mind. I mean, come on. Look at this thing. You know what you're getting into, and if you can't tell by the first 5 to 10 minutes of production value or lack of, you're blinder than old Brainwave over here. If this movie were fireworks, it'd be a bunch of snakes and sparklers. But you know what? Fuck that. This is America, baby. The sheer fact that we created the internet, sent a man to the moon, and make movies like Uncle Sam is a true testament to what this is all about and makes it a perfect fit for us here at the Tape Tomb. Here's some facts about Uncle Sam. Shortly after the film was released on video in the United States, Apex Entertainment wanted to greenlight an Uncle Sam 2, but the plans fell through. Ha, fucking what? Madison Leora, the blind woman in the towel, only agreed to do her brief nude scene if she got to keep one of Uncle Sam's masks after the film's production was finished. And good thing she did, that's probably worth tens of dollars by now. A lenticular 3D poster was made for this movie, just similar to the box art here. Only 10 of them were produced, and we actually had 4 different variations of Uncle Sam's face instead of the 2. The ending is a reference to the ending of Lucio Fulci's City of the Living Dead from 1980. The Lucio Fulci dedication before the end of the credits confirms this. Fulci is an absolute legend around here, and I find it pretty funny that Fulci and Cohen were pretty good friends, considering Fulci is one of the greatest original horror Italian movie makers of all time, and Larry Cohen is, well, Larry Cohen. Thank you all so much for tuning in to another episode of the Tape Tomb. I've been your host, Larry Downs, and if you liked this week's episode, make sure you click that like and subscribe button down below and drop me a comment telling me what movie I should do in a future episode. Make sure you tune in every other week to our sister series, Airlock Shock, starring Nick Haskin. He is always talking about super cool sci-fi and sci-fi horror movies, just like we do flicks here at the Tape Tomb. Once again, I'm your host, Larry Downs. Stay spooky, my friends, and we will see you in the sequel.